Imagine you go out and buy the newest, most expensive iPhone available. You unbox it, and it's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. The hardware is always stunning.
Right. The chip inside is more powerful than the laptop you had 5 years ago. But then you turn it on, and you realize something pretty jarring.
Yeah.
The single biggest selling point of this new phone.
The whole reason you bought it.
Exactly. This brand new, super smart AI brain that Apple has been advertising everywhere, it's completely disabled.
Just gone.
And not because you didn't pay for it or because it's broken. It is entirely disabled just because of the country you happen to live in.
It really is wild. It forces a total rethink of what it actually means to own consumer technology today. I mean, you can hold the exact same piece of glass and metal as someone across the ocean, but the soul of the device.
The actual intelligence?
Right. The intelligence is either totally restricted or just missing.
Yeah.
This isn't just some minor feature delay. It's a massive structural shift in the tech world.
So let's set the stage here. At WWDC 2026, Apple finally answered years of criticism. People kept saying they were lagging way behind tools like ChatGPT and Gemini.
And they responded with a huge update.
They really did. They launched a massively upgraded Siri AI. And today, our mission for this deep dive is to look at a stack of sources, including some great AP reports, to figure out why this huge launch is proving something pretty scary.
Yeah, that the most advanced AI assistants of the future, they might never actually be global products.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's kind of like buying a high-performance sports car, but being told the engine is locked based on your local traffic laws.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So before we get into why Siri is blocked in certain places, we need to explain what makes this new Siri so different from the old one.
Right, so at WWDC 2026, Apple announced this new Siri AI driven by Apple Intelligence. And they said it would roll out later in the year in beta, mostly for English users on supported devices.
But this isn't just the Siri that sets your pasta timer anymore, right?
Not at all. It's what developers call a system-level AI assistant.
Right. It reads what's on your screen. It can cross between completely different apps. Like, it edits photos, writes text, and even remembers your past conversations to guess what you want to do next.
What's fascinating here is the deeper logic behind all of this. To be that smart, to anticipate your next move, Siri needs deep, unprecedented access to your phone's system.
It needs all the permissions.
Exactly. It needs the keys to your entire digital house.
Where?
And that exact requirement.
And that need for total access.
Yes, that is exactly what is causing it to crash into all these global regulatory red lines.
Wow. Okay, so let's move the conversation geographically. Because Siri needs those digital keys, it has hit a massive wall in the European Union.
A huge wall.
And there's this really bizarre detail in our sources. If you're in the EU and you update your Mac laptop to macOS 27 or your Vision headset to Vision OS 27, you get the new Siri AI.
It works perfectly fine.
Yeah, right. But if you update your iPhone, your iPad, or your Apple Watch, the AI is blocked. Why the split? Why are laptops and headsets totally fine, but the phones in our pockets are blocked?
Well, it comes down to how we use these devices. Mobile devices are just so much closer to our intimate personal data, you know?
Yeah.
They sit right at the center of platform competition.
Because we carry them everywhere.
Exactly. And the EU is actively enforcing something called the Digital Markets Act, or the DMA.
Okay, the DMA.
Right. And the DMA demands this concept called interoperability. Basically, it means playing nicely with others.
Right. So if Apple gives Siri the super deep access to the iPhone's core system, the EU says they have to let third-party virtual assistants have that exact same access.
You got it. If Siri gets the master keys, then a competing AI from a startup or even Google also has to get the master keys.
Oh, wow. I can see why Apple would hate that.
They do. Apple argues this creates massive privacy and security risks for the user. I mean, they did propose a compromise, though.
Well,
They proposed something called a trusted system agent. So instead of raw access, third-party apps would have to ask this Apple-controlled agent to do things for them safely.
let me guess, the EU didn't like that.
Not at all. Apple claims the EU rejected it. The EU argues that Apple is just trying to protect its monopoly.
Right. They're saying Apple shouldn't be allowed to give its own AI an unfair advantage.
Exactly. And the AP reports show that both sides are just actively blaming each other for the delay right now.
So think about it for a second. Is Apple really just protecting your privacy here? Or is privacy just the perfect commercial strategy to keep their ecosystem completely closed?
It's the million-dollar question. And the standoff isn't just bad for everyday users. EU developers are hurting right now.
How so?
Well, they are currently entirely blocked from testing or integrating these new Siri features on mobile devices. So while developers in the US are building the future, European developers are just locked out.
That is so frustrating. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because the EU is worried about competition, but China has an entirely different set of rules.
Oh, totally different. If we connect this to the bigger picture, China's market requires incredibly strict compliance for generative AI.
Right. Apple explicitly stated that Apple Intelligence is temporarily unavailable in China because they are working through local regulations.
They can't just copy and paste the US version of Siri into China. The rules there are fundamentally different.
Right. The sources mention some specific hurdles, like local data processing rules. Your data can't just be sent to a server in California.
Nope, it has to stay local. And there are very strict content security regulations.
So they have to control exactly what the AI is allowed to say.
Exactly. Which means there's a very high likelihood that Apple will need to forge partnerships with local, government-approved AI models just to make the system work over there.
So the Siri you talk to might not actually be Apple's brain under the hood?
Probably not.
That is wild. So if you buy the exact same iPhone hardware as someone in the US, but they get the native Apple AI, and you get a completely different localized version, does that feel like a broken promise to you? Or is it just the reality of local data protection now?
It's a harsh reality, and it brings up a huge structural change in tech.
So what does this all mean for us?
It means we are witnessing the end of global software when it comes to AI.
The end of global software, that's huge.
It really is. AI products are actively being sliced into regional versions. We are basically looking at three distinct AI worlds now.
Okay, what are the three worlds?
First, you have the complete unrestricted US version.
Right, exactly how Apple designed it.
Then second, you have the European compliance version.
Yeah.
And that one is totally reshaped by competition laws and interoperability rules.
Assuming they ever reach an agreement.
Right. And third, you have the highly localized Chinese version, which is adapted for local data and generative AI regulations.
It is crazy to think about. Geography now completely dictates the intelligence of your device. And privacy isn't just a marketing slogan for Apple anymore.
No, it's a high-stakes, global regulatory negotiation.
Right. So when AI becomes a true operating system layer, the debate totally stops being about, is it smart enough?
Exactly. It becomes what can it see, what can it control, and who has the power to restrict it.
Future AI competition isn't just about coding the best model. It's about navigating data borders and platform power.
That is the core takeaway here.
So we want you to really think about this. As these assistants get smarter, are you willing to hand over deeper permissions to your entire digital life?
It's a big trade-off.
It really is. Are you more afraid of an AI that isn't smart enough to be useful, or an AI that knows you a little too well?
Yeah, questions.
Keep mulling that over. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.